Random pointless facts with Mike Idle. Speaking of which, I have a legitimate mystery with one of the coolest pulling stories I've ever accidentally researched. So buckle up, guys. I don't even know how I'm going to present this, but I've got cool stuff that I want to show everyone tonight. So let's start it off with what we know. We might only get to 2 tractors tonight, and if so, that's fine. We'll just kick the other 2 to tomorrow.
No, Massetti can play along with the stuff.
So, well, then we'll throw up the picture of one of the highest, what's the word I'm looking for? One of our most shared pictures we had on like Beer Money social media this week was actually a picture of my mom in 1991. So, that's a fun one. We're going to show that one later on. But let's start at what we know. So this right here, I know, like this one is not debated. So this tractor is actually called Bigfoot, as in like the same name as the monster truck. And they say that this tractor actually came out and was doing its thing. It was named before the monster truck. I don't know about that. But this is LD Nation. So LD Nation had this tractor in, I'm assuming this picture is taken between like 1981 to 1985, somewhere in there. This is either Bethany, Missouri, or the Missouri State Fair in the early to mid 80s. LD Nation pulling a super stock. I think this was a super stock that he called Bigfoot with the words Red Power written on the side shields. Now that's kind of cool in and of itself, because when you think of LD Nation, you think of the 4 Aces, Unlimited Modified. And then later on, he had the Big Turbines, and he had the Indians and Outlaws. And I think he even had like Missouri Gambler or something like that, 2-wheel drive truck. So LD been around a long time. And not a lot of people realize that he started off with a super stock tractor or had a tractor at the same time. But, that much we know. Where the story gets confusing is with this tractor right here. So this is almost at the same pull. Like, I'm not convinced that these both weren't Bethany, Missouri, 1981, somewhere in there. And as you guys can all see, there's 2 names on the side of this tractor, and then like a straight up family name on it too. So you can see on the side of the tractor, it has Mean Green written at the top, but on the side shields, it has Sneaky Snake. Now, we're not going to go down that route because there was another tractor called Sneaky Snake, and I think it was like an international pro stock that pulled in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. I don't think they come into the story at all. So, like, first of all, is this Mean Green or is this Sneaky Snake? But you can see clear as day on the bottom down here on the frame, it says Watson Brothers. So I started Googling, I started following some leads, and actually several outlaw pullers kind of chimed in. Fred Petch chimed in and said, hey, this is the Watson Brothers. They're out of Texas. And in my research, I actually found an obituary for, I'm assuming you say this guy's name as Robbie. It might be Roby. It's R-O-B-Y. And it's going to tell all about him and his brother. So I'm going to jump in at the tail end of his obituary. And this is where I started tagging. And it's like, this is obviously Mean Green, piloted by the Watson Brothers.
Oh,
but this is it Roby? R-O-B-Y?
Sorry.
Aaron Shriver?
So Roby Watson. This is Roby Watson's memorial. Just listen to this story.
Oh, he said Toby first, that's why. Okay.
In his young adult years, Roby, it could be Robbie, there's only one B. Roby participated in rodeos around Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana with Billy. Billy is his brother. There's your Watson brothers. And his favorite event to compete in was steer wrestling. In his middle adult years, he grew an interest in tractor pulling and started competing with Mean Green. So that's important. There's it says Mean Green right there. With Mean Green, a tractor he and Billy owned and worked on together. James recalls how the tractor broke loose from the sled at the 1978 White Right tractor pull. So, Outlaw fans or Outlaw Pulling TV, White Right, Texas, that should ring a bell. So the tractor breaks away from the sled in 1978 at White Right tractor pull. And in a successful attempt to miss the crowd, the tractor flipped upside down and ejected Roby. He was taken to the hospital in Sherman, where he was told he was going to have to spend the night and wouldn't be able to shave for 6 months due to burns on his face. He refused to stay, walked out of the ER, and went straight back to the tractor pull in Whitewright. The next morning, he woke up, shaved, and went to church. Roby went on to amass 7 regional points championships for the NTPA, including multiple wins at Louisville, Kentucky. So, first of all, the dude's a badass. Like,
Yes.
his tractor upside down. The doctor's like, you got 3rd-degree burns on your face. You can't ever shave again. You're going to be on bed rest for months. He signs himself out, walks back to the tractor pull, gets up and goes to church because it's Texas, but not before shaving his face because he's a true gentleman, and then goes on to win multiple points championships with the tractor they call Mean Green. But then I get Facebook messages from an individual who claims that this tractor under this name was not owned by the Watson brothers, but actually owned by LD Nation, taking us right back to this tractor right here. So we have a complete and total kerfluffle. So an individual by the name of Steve Miller messaged me, who worked with, do you know Steve Miller? Steve
No,
Miller.
I just heard kerfuffle. So
Kerfluffle. Well, we do. We have a kerf. You don't. We do. We're all confused. So Steve Miller messages me in reference to this tractor. Says LD Nation had a John Deere dealership at the time, and when he bought, let me make sure I've got this right. Yeah, LD Nation had a John Deere dealership at the time, and when he bought the red tractor he called Bigfoot, said this made John Deere mad, and they pulled his dealership. Said it lasted about a week, and then he bought it back. He said, I worked for LD from 74 to 77. He had Mean Green, and his brother had a 4440 named the Outlaw. He says Mean Green, or what is left of it, is sitting at Doug Roberts in the graveyard. He goes, the last time it ran was around 2001, and it was being driven by Dave Yarick, who I assume is Cody Yarick's father.
yes.
So later in a different post, he said that when the Watsons owned it, it was called Sneaky Snake. When LD Nation owned it, it was called Mean Green. I have no idea here, because in the obituary it says that the Watsons called it Mean Green. It's got the word Sneaky Snake written on the side of it. This guy is saying that LD Nation ran a John Deere dealership, built or bought this tractor, got dropped from John Deere for pulling a red one, moved on or back to this one. So fans, does anybody know? I have no idea. As far as I know, these photos are taken at the same pull. I mean, it says Watson Brothers on the bottom of it. Nowhere, anywhere does any of it say Sneaky Snake. I have no idea. So if you're watching and you have any knowledge, we do know that it ended up with Doug Roberts and Dave Yarick and pulled as recently as 2001. And we know the dude flipped it upside down, got 3rd-degree burns on his face, and didn't miss church. So
And still at the church. Yeah, that's legit.
Like, because walked back to the pool and was like, you know what? I have a points championship to win. I'm out of here, Doc. I have no idea. If you guys can help me figure this out, I am.
Jeff Hurt's long lost grandfather is what it is.
Yeah. I mean,
That's what Jeff Hurt would do.
the dude's a stud. The other pictures that we have while we're looking at various ones, this was one of our top rated, top grossing, whatever you guys want to call it. This one was like all over our Facebook page over the past 2 weeks. And this is Randy Hinton and let me see if I can get this right. Daryl Vasky.
Yep.
So at first glance, everyone's going to think this is the Indiana Rascal. This is not the Indiana Rascal. This is the Red Rascal in 1991, driven by Randy Hinton and Daryl Vasky. And what's fun about this is you can actually see the for sale sign right there beneath the gear shifts on the tractor.
Yeah.
So this is 1991, Macon, Missouri, for sale. And then, of course, that's 1-year-old me and my mom, and we're just having a grand old time right there. And then 1992, Macon, Missouri, 1 year later, it is now the Indiana Rascal. And you can see that on the side. So, for sale right here. And the Red Rascal. And lo and behold, now it's Coleman Wheatley. And now it's the Indiana Rascal. So
This style of tractor, Mike, what year was this?
92.
This is 91 right here. And these, I can honestly, Jason, I can tell you, knowing these pits well enough, that these two pictures are actually taken like less than 100 feet from each other, but 1 year to the date difference between them. So
we have to get a pullback in Macon just for Mike.
Yeah.
I want to call it the Mike Idle
Yeah,
Macon,
we-
the Mike Idle Macon Open. Is that cool, kids? I think
So
we can do
yeah, it was a big pull. It was it's with
that. I
every
know it was.
with
I'm
every
not-
association, it pulled NTPA, it pulled ATPA, it pulled Outlaw. It was always good. But no, this is Hinton and Vasky in '91 with the for sale sign, and then this is Coleman Wheatley in 1992.
So
and
like
then-
when I see, put that picture back up of the Indiana Rascal.
Yeah,
So Mike, when I see that picture, I'm not like the good old days. I'm not that guy because I like pulling where it is today. Obviously, I want to win more money or have the opportunity to pull for more money, but it's always going to progress. We know that. But like so when people say, "Oh, the good old days," I miss the good old days. I do too, in a way. But like that's my memories, like '85 to the early '90s. That was my, I'm 10 years old, 15 years old, in 1990. Mike, to me, that's a tractor that I remember. Like that was the first pulling tractor, the Iron Elk and stuff like that. That's just fun to see.
I have so many Iron Elk photos that I haven't brought on here yet because I'm just waiting for like the Jason Schultz. Like I'm waiting for you to have a bad day, and then I'm going to bring all my Ernie and Warren Rock pictures on here.
When you're going to do it, let's get Warren on the show. He'll come on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That would be
we'll
awesome.
do a Warren Rock episode, Kenzie.
That'd be cool.
That would be lit. And then this one, big thank you to these pictures are getting shared around a lot. And someone posted this up the other day. I'm so stupid because like I'll see a picture and I'll be like, oh man, that's really cool. And I'll be like, man, that looks familiar. And I'll be like, oh wait, that's my picture. So someone shared this the other day and they were like Trailer Thursday and like had this up there. And I was like, damn, like that's really slick. And I was like, wait a minute. Like I think I posted that. So to whoever it was that shared this, thank you. Well done. I had to go to the Omer Mafia had to tell me who this was. But all the Omers out there, they said that this is Ray Anderson and Charlie Schramm in Wild Cherry. So just a neat looking little 2-engine mod. So whoever shared that out there for Trailer Thursday, thanks for the love, man. 5 throwback pictures.
You said Trailer Thursday.
Maybe Trailer Thursday. I don't know. Yeah, Trailer Thursday. Something like that. But seriously, world, internet, pulling people because I do love looking backward. I am I like looking backward, forward in every direction and pulling. What's the story on this tractor? Did LD Nation own this tractor? Was it the Watsons? Just someone get to the bottom of that. I'm confused. So there's your throwback for this episode of Let's Grow Pulling.
We got real sound effects. Make ready.